Well, welcome to Allen's Day. We're doing a shop walk today, and you can see we're on the inside of a container, shipping container. Right now we're doing some roof reinforcement and to prep it to put a ceiling in here. Let me turn you around the other direction and show you what we got going on so far. Well, what we're doing is prepping this, like I said, for putting some sheeting up on the ceiling here. All these shipping containers, when we get them in here, we reinforce the roof, and it starts out with putting that long piece of 1.5-inch tube down the entire length so that you don't have any problems with snow load or if somebody's walking on there. If somebody walks on one of these shipping containers or jumps on there, you set something on there, they will flex and they'll start oil canning, and you'll start developing holes in there and places for water to sit. So first thing we do, put that big long 1.5-inch tubing down, and then we put cross tubes on here, and that's going to allow us to bolt on some 4-foot material between there and there. Typically, if it's just real outside storage that we're not concerned about condensation in there, we'll just put the center tube in there, some 1.5-inch cross tubes, and we'll call her done. But we added a couple other pieces of material in here, so we got a place to screw our sheeting to. And then what we're doing is going down to this end. We've got some 8-foot wide bubble insulation. Because what happens is, at least in our part of the country here, putting something in a storage container, it does not stay perfectly dry, because in certain conditions you're going to get condensation or frosting, and it'll almost be like a rainforest in here when the sun hits that ceiling and it starts to condensate, and everything in here that you thought was staying dry, you're building up moisture in here. So major cause of that is the ceiling, so that's why we're just on this container, just doing the ceiling, putting the bubble on there. So they're just starting the process now. They're rolling this bubble out all the way up to the end, and they've got this just set up on this end right here. And then what they're going to do is, we've got the drywall lift there. Here's the material that we're putting in the ceiling in there. It's a 3/8 thick. It has OSB on the bottom, and then it's got this vinyl top on here. And this is the material right here. It comes from Menards. It's about $40 a sheet, but it's going to do a good job keeping that ceiling from condensating. And then also, that with that being on the ceiling, this is a good start if we ever want to finish this particular container off. Let's talk shipping containers. This is a high cube, and the difference from a high cube to a standard is this particular container from top to bottom is 9'6". A standard shipping container is 8'6". With it being 9'6", the only way to transport this is on a lowboy or flat deck trailer, because it will be over height. So recommended, anytime you're doing anything of anything, always start with a 9'6" high cube container. It gives you so many options on the inside for ceiling height, because you can put a finished ceiling in there like we're doing here, and you will have full clearance in there. There's more storage to put if you're putting overhead doors in here. An 8'6" standard height container will not work, so don't waste your money on the 8'6" containers unless you have a specific need for it. Now this one is a high cube 40-footer, and this is what they call a one trip, or a new container, a new shipping container. I highly recommend that if you are sticking any time and money investing your labor in here, do not start with one of the old 20-year-old wind and watertight containers. They're just not worth it as far as I'm concerned, because your labor and your materials is worth a whole lot more than the container. Because this particular container, like I said, this is a new container, and either we get it out of Chicago or we get it out of Minneapolis. Right now, this new container is $3,900, and then throw another $800 or so on there for shipping to get it to our site here. As compared to some of the older standard containers, you're still a couple $1,000s into it. So like I said, go new if you're doing any work on them. Otherwise, it's pretty much a waste of your investment and labor trying to deal with those old ones. They're just all beat up. You'll get some nice ones, but good luck on that. A couple other things we did on here just for future stuff. We just put some galvanized conduit couplers on here, welded them in there. We'll put a plastic plug in there. We put these on the four corners. That way, if you want to run an extension cord in here or to get in there, and then you can just seal it off, put a plastic plug in there, and you'll be good to go. So this is our shipping container. We've got 2 of these we're making up, and I'll take you a walk out in the yard and show you some of the other ones we put together a little later. But thanks for coming along on the shop walk, showing you the shipping containers build. We'll bring you back once they get the start putting the ceiling up in there and finish it off. Well, here's an update on our 40-foot high cube shipping container modifications. As I mentioned, these are the high cubes we got in. These are the one trip. We've got both of them done, and the big thing we're after is getting the roofs modified. I've got these opened up already. As I said before, the big concern with these is the roofs on there. They sweat so much and we get condensation. I don't know if that's in all parts of the country, but definitely up in Wisconsin here. When you go in these shipping containers, it's almost like a rainforest when the frost is on there and you get the right situation. So what we did is went up there, and I showed you before, we've got our material there, 4x8 sheets, and then we've got our bubble wrap, bubble underneath there. So did a pretty good job, and this is just laying the groundwork if we ever want to come in here and finish these out. At least we've got the ceiling done. It's been reinforced, it's been insulated. We've got room that we can run wires up there. So pretty nice system in here, and it'll definitely keep some of the heat out of here too. It's a hot day and it's somewhat cool in here. So that's our tour with the roof modifications to keep them from sweating in there, and we'll just use these containers just for general storage out here. So, well, thanks for hanging along on this quick video with these shipping containers. Talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching Alan's Day. Life is about making choices. Some things are already perfect. Some things you may choose to upgrade. This channel will show you both. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thanks again.